If you've been to a grocery store in India lately, you might have noticed something strange. Diet Coke is quietly disappearing from the shelves, sending Gen Z into a minor panic over their missing emotional support beverage. But a missing soda can is just the visible symptom of a massive industrial collapse. Over 25 large aluminum extrusion plants have shut down completely, and 200 more are currently slashing their production. This makes no sense on paper. India isn't suffering from a global metal shortage. In fact, India is the second largest producer of aluminum on the entire planet. The country possesses enough high-quality bauxite, the raw red rock used to make aluminum, to last for the next 350 years. How does a country sitting on centuries' worth of raw metal run out of basic beverage cans and end up shuttering its own factories? The immediate trigger was the 2026 Gulf crisis. Heightened geopolitical tensions effectively choked off critical maritime trade routes, bringing global supply chains to a standstill. Despite its massive mineral wealth, India's mid-tier factories rely heavily on the Middle East for two crucial inputs: energy to run their furnaces and recycled scrap metal. The conflict caused a sudden surge in LPG and PNG prices. Aluminum extrusion, the process of shaping the metal, requires continuous heating. When the fuel cost doubled, the furnaces had to be turned off. Simultaneously, nearly 2 million tons of imported aluminum scrap are currently delayed or halted at ports, cutting off the raw material these secondary plants need to survive. But the Gulf crisis only pulled the trigger. It exposed a much deeper, pre-existing fragility in how India manages its manufacturing sector. To see where the value is being lost, we have to look at the 5-stage life cycle of aluminum. It starts with mining bauxite, refining it into alumina, smelting raw metal, rolling it into sheets, and finally, manufacturing finished goods like cans. India excels at the bottom 3 stages. This is the grueling, energy-intensive work that yields the lowest profit margins, usually between 10 and 25%. While raw materials are heavily taxed, free trade agreements allow foreign finished goods to enter India with a 0% import duty. Here's the math that crushes a local factory. An Indian factory pays 10.4 rupees to make a single can because their raw material is taxed. But a Korean factory pays 0% duty to ship a finished can into India for just 9.77 rupees. Indian small businesses are being taxed into unprofitability by their own government, while foreign competitors are given a free pass to take the market. The ultimate irony is that India performs the grueling labor of digging and smelting raw aluminum, only to export it and buy it back as expensive finished goods. This internal tax squeeze leaves mid-level factories with wafer-thin margins. They have zero financial buffer when a geopolitical shock like the Gulf crisis hits, forcing them to shut down the moment costs rise. True economic independence requires owning the most profitable stages of the value chain. Real self-reliance is found in the factory that finishes the product, not just in the minerals buried in the ground. Until India fixes its domestic tax traps and localizes high-margin manufacturing, its industrial ambitions will remain a fragile illusion, easily shattered by foreign wars and foreign factories.